Opinions Unqualified. Welcome to this week's episode. Sammy, how are you?
Good, mate. How are you?
Mate, I have had a ripping weekend because basketball is back, and that's, as you know, a real passion of mine to get the team back on the floor. So that was good. How did you find sort of knowing that the boys ran out and you weren't sort of among them?
It wasn't too bad because I was out on the Friday and Saturday night, so I was probably a couple iced teas into forgetting about that, I think. So.
Well, that's a reasonable excuse, you know. You played for how many years?
My whole life.
Yeah, so a little bit of time off sometimes can't be bad. All right, talking about time off, this guy is currently in a work drought. He's doing his best to turn that around, but
between jobs,
there's no better time to be unemployed than now. I think that's an actual fact because of the COVID bonuses that are happening at the moment. But I can assure you, he's not a dole bludger. He's a guy that does want to work, but he's just been unfortunate in the fact that a few life circumstances haven't allowed him to. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the guy I call the T-Bomber, Troy, my big brother. So welcome.
Oh, thanks, bro. You know, first time, interviewee and long time listener. So it's good to be on.
So you have been a long time listener. So, you know, do you listen because it's me and Sam and you love us, or do you actually think it's all right?
Bit of column A, bit of column B. I do listen to a lot of podcasts and I enjoy listening to this. So even if these guys, you know, weren't related to me or practically a brother, then I still would actually sit down and listen to this every week. I enjoy it.
Cool. That's really good. Now, how much do you share it with your people and then get out there and make sure that people know that we're doing this?
Well, when everyone I talk to, I kind of mention the fact that my brother has a podcast. And they go, oh, interesting. I don't listen to podcasts. And I go, oh, okay, well, that makes things a little bit hard.
No, that's when you say, well, this is a perfect first-time podcast listening thing.
Let Sam and Nixy break your podcast virginity.
It's a gateway podcast. It gets you into the harder stuff.
Yeah, or maybe they'll just like us.
We are the pinnacle.
Stuff. Yeah.
We are the pinnacle.
Yeah. So anyway, have you never used? Do you listen to Opinions Unqualified on your Tinder conversations?
Don't have a Tinder account.
Okay,
it's okay. I'm happy just being a dad right now. So that kind of stuff we'll just worry about sometime in the future. But right now, I'm just happy being Troy.
Okay. All right, cool. So, Sam, we'll move on. So, very happy to have you here, Troy, and getting your unqualified opinions on all things that come up.
I do have an opinion on pretty much everything, as long as it's not sport.
So, is there sport? Yeah,
no.
Some sport.
Oh, yeah, there. Yeah. All right. Well,
talk about your day. What happened today?
Yeah. So anyway, I'm back at uni. And I had my first class today, and I'm doing singing for 5 weeks, which is beautiful, because I am the songbird of my generation. So it's a class that I really thrive in.
Yeah.
But anyway, we were playing a bit of a game, and I felt a bit of a runny nose come on, and I wondered what it was, and I was all clear, and then later on I came to discover that I had a blood nose. Which came to me thinking, what do people do when they get a blood nose? Me personally, if I feel I'm getting a blood nose, my head's going back and it's just running straight back into my brain.
Okay, Troy, what if you were, firstly, you're in a university class and you're probably center of attention singing away. And
I was actually lucky though, because it didn't run out when I was in the class.
Okay.
It wasn't it was a weird blood nose. I never had a blood nose that was just like...
Didn't actually run.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's bizarre. If you were in that situation, Troy, what would you do? What's your remedy?
Well, first we should clarify a bit though. I mean, if you tilt your head back, the blood's not going to go back to your brain, so it'll go straight to your stomach.
Yeah. Well, same thing.
Stomach, brain.
Fair enough. It's actually as long as that's where the brain goes. But it's been a while since I've had one. But normally blood noses are caused by like the nasal cavities. The blood vessels get too dry. So I'd probably just normally tilt my head forward and continue letting it drip out until it coagulates, really.
Talking about noses, You and Sam would have you could have a massive nose off, like the two of you. So who's got the better nose?
I'm a winner.
Yeah, your nose is larger, but I broke mine a couple of times, which kind of made it a little bit larger than what used to be anyway.
Mine's is all natural.
I'm a little weird when it comes to like a bleeding nose because I used to get blood noses, particularly in summertime when I was a kid. And I worked out relatively quickly that if I blew my nose, blew it out, it would stop. So like there was only a certain amount of blood that was in the blood nose, and then blow it out. So the tissue would look like a murder scene, to start with. But after like 2 or 3 blows, then I'd just give it a little dab and it'll stop, and I was fine. So I've probably gone the opposite. I'm trying to get it out where you're trying to hold it in. And the other thing that I found worked quite well, but you need resources around you, was to have a little bit of ice on the bridge of your nose.
Yeah, right.
To just try and stop that flow a little bit. Because I think it makes you swell or something.
I know pinching the actual. Some people actually pinch the bridge of their nose to stop the bleeding, but I'd say if you're blowing it out, what happens is probably the blood has been exposed to the air, so it helps it clog faster. So, and I think the rule of thumb now is you're supposed to just let it lean forward, let it drip, and put like a tissue there to stop it.
Okay.
Rather than actually tilting your head back, which is what I used to do when I was a kid. That's what I was told what you had to do.
Tilt your head back?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what we were told when we were a kid as well. Whereas I need to get out of this quick, so I just blow it out.
Troy, you're sounding very qualified for opinions unqualified. We're the first subject here, and you're dropping knowledge.
Unfortunately, I know pretty much a bit of everything, but like I said, except for sport, which is purely Charles's domain.
So when we're talking about sort of like the home remedies, another one like with the blood nose is like, I hate these more than I hate most things in life, is when you get hiccups. Like they're the most annoying thing. Like why do we even have them? Why? Like why do we even get them? But they're the most frustrating thing on earth, and I find they're really hard to get rid of. And when I was younger, I used to get a glass of water and drink it upside down. So I'd drink from the top side of the cup and then basically have my head pointing to the ground and drink it off the top of my mouth.
Yeah.
And that would work. But I've heard a heap of different things to get rid of hiccups. Is there anything that you were told as a kid, Sam?
I'm a breath holder. Hold my breath.
Yeah.
And relax. Because I think when you're really trying to get rid of it, that's when they start
to get worse.
They hang around. So I think I usually just try to hold my breath and relax a little bit.
What about you, Troy?
I hold my breath as well. I do remember actually trying drinking the glass of water upside down trick. I remember doing that at home a few times. But now I hold my breath. If other people have hiccups, I always try and scare them. I can't help it. I do it straight away, and that seems to work pretty well. But apart from that, I'm more a breath holder really, or eat something slowly. So if I actually eat something and chew it lots and 40 odd times and then swallow it and just keep on chewing and swallowing, I think the time it takes to go through that process stops your body from hiccuping and it just forgets to do it.
Yeah, right. I've never heard of that one.
Man, who needs Dr. Carl when you've got Troy?
Once again, Troy coming.
No, that's not knowledge. That's just what I do.
So I know they're the most annoying thing. I don't even know why we get them. I just think that they're just like a mean trick on us.
It would be interesting to know why you actually get
Do you know
them.
why you get hiccups?
Yeah.
So it's from the diaphragm muscle. So they reckon it's like some kind of spasm that pops up in there. So who knows? Maybe it's some kind of errant electrical signal or something like that, or maybe it's got something to do with when you go to sleep at night and sometimes you have like a spasm before you kind of pass out.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something to do with that, like some kind of latent muscle energy that maybe that's what's kind of causing it. I don't know. That's just off the top of my head.
Do you think hiccups are when you yawn and then someone next to you yawns? Hiccups are contagious?
No, they're not, are they?
I don't think they are.
You don't think they are?
I don't think I've noticed it.
You notice that with yawns? Though?
I've noticed yawns definitely all the time.
So if someone yawns and then you look around the room and is someone else going to yawn in a second? And then they yawn.
Wasn't that like that was like a dating tool they used to say? Like if you go into a nightclub, something like that, and like you'd kind of see if anyone's checking you out, you'd put on this theatrical yawn and you'd look around and then see if maybe some of the female persuasion is yawning as well.
That's actually a pretty good idea.
Wasn't that what? I don't know. I think I remember seeing on a show or someone talking about it. I don't know if it works or not.
I'll try it out this weekend and I'll get back to you.
I think that's actually a really good idea. So you're sort of standing there looking all suave and nice big yawn. And then,
I'm quite a big yawner. Like I yawn. I reckon I yawn more than anyone else. And so I do notice quite a lot of the time when I'm sitting next to someone and I yawn.
And then
I definitely pass off the yawn quite often.
Sandy's the centre of attention.
Nah.
Everyone's focusing on the man.
Nah. I think it's just natural. But anyway, that's enough of yawns and hiccups and stuff. But home remedies, right?
Yep.
Another one of mine. When I feel like I'm getting a cold or something like that, I have some whiskey. Make sure I real smell it. Let it hit the throat. And I reckon that does the trick for me.
Yep.
What I normally do is when I cold coming down, I'd actually get like a ginger root, and I'd peel it and then cut up fine, and then boil it with a bit of honey, and just drink like litres of that, and it destroys anything in my throat really that I reckon that's going to cause any illness. So that was my little remedy.
For me, if I want to stay healthy, I make sure I exercise regularly. I make sure I eat healthy enough, and you have a lot of sexual contact, because apparently that increases your immune system and stops you from getting sick. So if you have a healthy sex life, then it's unlikely you're going to get sick.
I guess that's why I'm so unwell lately.
But that's what I've been told. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Is that what you've been told, or what you're trying to believe?
Who wouldn't want to believe that? Let's be honest. Have a healthy lifestyle and enjoy the intimacy. So,
When you live alone, that's a whole different conversation. So
yeah, that's true.
That's okay.
Yeah. So it's a couple of the other things like sunburn, like getting aloe vera plants.
Oh yeah,
and then rubbing that against your skin. So that's a home one. I think with like colds and things like chicken noodle soup or like a honey tea.
Yeah,
lemon tea.
Yeah.
I love honey lemon tea. It's so good.
Yeah, so that sort of helps you, and I think a lot of it is to do just with the hotness of and the moisture coming up and clearing your airways. But who doesn't love a good chicken noodle soup?
That is good, especially ones made from scratch. So you've actually got like the strands of chicken in there, and
yep,
vegetables. I'm just getting hungry thinking about it. Really,
I actually made a mad. So this was my Saturday night. So home Saturday night, put on the wood fire, and decide I'm cooking a chicken and vegetable soup on the fire. So on the fireplace, and just had it sitting there for a few hours, and just the smell in the living room with the food cooking, and just the length of time it was spectacular.
Do you remember, like when we were kids, Mum and Dad used to actually cook that pea and ham soup, and they used to make literally like 7 or 8 litres of the stuff.
I still have nightmares.
Oh my god. Really? I used to love that stuff, honestly. Like the split pea and ham soup, and you used to be sitting on top of the wood stove for so long, and basically we'd eat that non-stop for like 2 days. You just walk into the kitchen, have a bowl full, walk away, come back, have another one. Oh, it was amazing. I'm not a fan.
What I love about the fire is the cooking the crumpets in there.
Crumpet? Oh!
Yeah, so we'd get like a crumpet, open the fire up and cook like there, or toast.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's true.
So we didn't use a toaster, or we'd go to the wood fire when we had these little fork things, put the bread on it, put it in there, or the crumpet, put it in the actual fire itself, cook it up, so it's like a wood toasted crumpet.
Cover it with carbon.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it was good, and then, put a little bit of like a rock of leche on it.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, yeah.
I've had it for a while.
What's that?
It's like a caramel.
Oh, right, yeah.
So
easily made. All you have to do is get sweet condensed milk and then boil it for an hour.
Yeah.
And just, hope that it doesn't boil dry and explode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
right.
it tastes amazing. Yeah, it actually caramelizes it. It's basically just caramel spread. Oh,
And
so
it's pretty
good.
much just sugar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with sugar, can you?
All right, so I'm actually getting a little hungry now.
Yeah, it's like this podcast is big on food, I've noticed.
Yeah, it is. So you've had let's say you've had a little rough trot recently, Troy.
Yeah, it's been a rough couple of years, that's true, yeah.
So you're not showing it, so that's a good thing. Like,
Yeah,
still positive and beautiful, and the just a genuinely awesome guy you are.
I should say for the podcasters out there, the listeners, that I'm the best looking out of the trio here.
Shoot.
We will put a photo up, Troy.
Oh no!
Yeah, this gets edited out real easily as well.
So what I wanted to talk about, and this honestly isn't, and this sounds weird, but it wasn't of your fault. So there's you lost your license recently, but it actually wasn't your fault. Which I won't go into detail.
These things happen sometimes.
Yeah.
You just got to roll with it, really.
You got to roll with the punches.
Yeah.
So you've lost your license for, was it 3 months?
Yeah, that's right.
So how hard was life not having a license?
The funny thing is I don't really, I don't travel that much, and I don't mind public transport. So for me, it wasn't too difficult. And with COVID being here, there was nowhere for me to go. So essentially, I just would spend time at home most of the time. And if I had to go anywhere, I live near the train station, so I just jump on the train to the city or wherever I got to go. And it hasn't been too bad. I mean, these 3 months have gone by really quick. But I'm not going to lie, I missed having the car, especially when I went shopping, because it'd be a good 2Ks or so to the shopping centre, and I'd have to drag all the actual bags back. And the first couple of times I did that, I made the mistake of over-shopping and actually having to cart back like about 20 kilos worth of stuff.
Yeah, right.
So I think the shopping thing is pretty, that'd be hard, but just the freedom, the loss of it, they're so reliant on trains and buses and just not being able to jump in your car and just I feel like going to the beach.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Well, as I said, COVID though. So for a good couple of months, there was nowhere for me to go. So really, timing wise, I mean, if there ever is a good time to lose your license, I timed it beautifully.
Yeah.
Best time to lose it.
Do you ever think about delivery with your shopping? 'Cause
Yeah,
that goes all right.
I did hear that, but I'm also aware of the fact that it costs like $10 for the delivery. So I'm like, I could just walk there. I mean, being between jobs as well, I'm like, I've got time, so I can just walk down to the shop and walk back, rather than just spending the $10 to get it delivered.
What would you do, Nixy? Would you pay the $10?
Oh yeah, I'm paying that $10. There's no way that I'm walking to the shop and back carrying a bunch of shopping. Did you think about stealing a trolley? I would have stolen a trolley, guaranteed.
Oh, I think it would have been noticed, because since I live in Maylands, I would have walked me through the mainland cafe strip, and if everyone saw me, pushing a trolley along the street, I'd be noticed pretty quickly. So
I think they'd
stick
probably
with
think
shop
you're
bags.
homeless. You push it with homeless guys got all this shopping.
It's moving home. No, but still, like I said, it wasn't too bad. I didn't mind it, but I'm glad to have the license back, because the first thing I did when I got it back on Friday is I went to the shops and got a decent shop.
Yeah.
And actually, I went to go visit a friend of mine, and instead of taking me an hour to take buses and trains to get there, it was a bit over 10 minutes drive. I kid you not.
What? That is so bad.
So it usually take you an hour.
Oh, well, 45 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, and it took 10 minutes when you have your own car.
Yeah, a bit over 10 minutes, yeah. Because I didn't have to wait for trains or buses and wait for them to line up. Because, of course, when you have to wait for a train, then, of course, when you get to the destination, you've got to wait for a bus, and the bus might come late or you might miss it, so you've got to wait a little bit longer. And then, of course, you've got to walk that last distance as well. So your public transport's not really the best in WA. It's better than, stabbing the eye with a burnt stick, I guess. But, yeah. Either way, it doesn't matter. I've got my car back. It's fine.
You just say stab in the eye
with a burnt stick.
I know. He's a country boy too. I don't know. You've just convinced me that I would get my shopping delivered.
How do you think you would go, Nixy, without your license?
Ooh.
With how active I am and everything that I do, my life would be nearly impossible to be able to execute, because I'm very, very organised. I've got a lot of things that happen quickly, and I realise I rely on my car to get me from A to B in one job to the next job. And I think for me, if I was to lose my license, I'd have to find a different job.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Do you guys all have manual licenses?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like all three? Yeah, because I do know, apparently there's been a bit of a trend slowly over the years that a lot of people are just focusing on the automatic licenses. And I do know that it's harder to get manual vehicles now. And that's why I picked up my car so cheap, actually, because, it was a manual and a diesel, and nobody likes those.
Yeah, I just think with where we grew up,
Yeah.
if I got an automatic license, I would never live that down, like at all. Like my friends would have been like, no, you can't actually drive, like because you got an auto license, you'd
Yeah.
actually know how to drive properly.
What about you, Sammy, though? Do you actually, like a lot of your mates, do they all have manual, or does
Yeah, I
a lot of
think-
them have automatic?
Nah, most of my mates have got manual. Yeah, I think maybe a bit younger than me is probably where that wave might have changed a little bit.
Well, I think like a lot of people are getting auto licenses because, like, if we're realistic, cars are going in that direction anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, true.
It's just easier, isn't it?
you actually pay more. I know because I was selling cars for a while. You're actually paying more for a manual car now than you are for an automatic car.
Oh, because that was the big selling point when for a long time the reason why people normally buy manuals over automatics is because they were like $2,000 cheaper or so.
Because the factory fit cars now are all auto.
Oh, the more you know.
So depending on the car, like I think if it's a 4-wheel drive or something,
Yeah.
like a Ute, they will need because like the torque and being able to control gears and
That's true.
it's important to have a manual gearbox, but like they might be the same or less expensive. But I think if the car comes as a standard as an auto, if you wanted to get a manual version of it, it's going to cost you more because you have to change the factory sort of.
Yeah, right.
So you're not ordering from the book, I guess.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So I think that's weird. I'd really struggle without a license. So I think you've done well. You've got it back now.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Hence why you're on podcast 14 rather than podcast 3. So we're happy to have you here. You were obviously when you're a young kid, you look up to your older siblings and. They influence you in a lot of ways, and probably the one area that you influenced me really, really heavily, particularly when we started becoming teenagers, was my influence on music. So what I wanted to talk about is who's influenced your musical tastes and how and what sort of music you're into because of that. And is your music taste more diverse because of that, or are you sort of more in a sort of streamline because they've influenced it so hard, I guess?
I think the biggest influence on my taste, to begin with, probably would have been the old man. So him blaring out records at until like 2 or 3 in the morning each and every night got me a bit of a hankering for Pink Floyd. Some of the older bands, or
Supertramp, Skyhooks.
Yes, absolutely. Skyhooks. Yeah, I know all those.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin as well.
Yeah.
I do like Led Zeppelin, but you know what really influenced me with music when we were growing up? Rage. Watching lots of Rage on telly because back then we only had like ABC, GWN, and Rage is what we listened to like pretty much every weekend from it used to start from midnight until
10 a.m.
10 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. And so listening to that is what really made me kind of have such a wide range of music, I guess. Like me, like my tastes are a little bit weird at times. Like I went through like a Björk phase.
You did, yep.
Yeah. Good old
Chemical
Björk. Chemical Brothers. Oh yeah, and I do like me heavy beats.
Yeah.
I used to like listen to the rave music and drum and bass, that kind of thing. Like on the way here, I was listening to Beastie Boys actually.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, my tastes haven't changed too much the past 10 years though. I think the newest band I've listened to recently would have been Franz Ferdinand. So they came out like 2009.
Yeah, 2007 I think actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, crazy.
You could have plugged that perfect. That could have been another Coach Nick's plug right there, I think. How do you?
Yeah.
You didn't shout out your brother's musical journey.
Musical journey? Well, I don't know. I didn't realise actually I influenced your taste that much. All I know is that you used to comment on how weird my music was sometimes. Oh, Radiohead. I did get you on the Radiohead.
Yeah, love Radiohead. Ben Folds 5.
Yeah.
I listen to them, still listen to them now. Soundgarden.
Oh, Soundgarden. Jeez. Nirvana.
Yeah, so that's again. I was at a very impressionable age and listened to those things. I remember when you were at university and we'd go to university and you had no money, but you still had enough money to buy 2 massive big subwoofers in the back of your car.
It was one subwoofer.
Oh, one was it? Was the hugest thing I've ever seen.
It cost we managed to get it cheap because it was a display model. That and the amplifier back then. This is like 2000, and I think it cost $100. This car, this Sigma. His name was Beatrice, I used to call it.
Yeah.
This was a 1980 Mitsubishi Sigma, Aston 2000.
Yep, I remember.
Went like the clappers. You could drive at 90 k's an hour in a second if you wanted to. That car drove on rails. I used to be able to take like 90-degree corners flat out. It was amazing. Anyway, the car itself was only worth $500, and I believe the stereo at the time all the bits and pieces in there was worth about maybe $600.
So the stereo is worth more than that.
Yeah, back in '99 when I put all that stuff in.
I just remember getting to the university and he puts Chemical Brothers on, and just jump in the car and all it is just this bass like doo doo.
It would rattle like crazy too because this is like a.
So what's that noise? Oh, that's actually the car.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so
that was brilliant.
So Sam, do you have anyone that sort of any experience that's influenced your music heavily?
Well, I think similar. I had an older brother at the time. Well, I still do.
Still got one, yeah. He isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, no, he's still here. But, well, now I think, he doesn't influence my music anymore. He did, a bit. A bit of everyone, really, I think, when you're younger, because you're listening to other people's music. And then I think my time in Tucson probably helped my music taste a little bit with all that kind of music. And then, pretty much it. I'm very diverse in my music taste.
Yeah, me too. I listen to like Jamie Callan and Michael Bublé, and I'll also listen to like Fear Factory and System of a Down, and I'll listen to Jack Johnson as well as Kanye West. Like, so a bit of everything. As long as it's good music, I'm happy listening to it. But my actual go-tos. Like, it's still probably that 90s era. I still listen to a lot of 90s music, like lots of 90s music. It's, it's definitely what I enjoy and it's influenced me. I
was thinking the same thing because, I mean, even though, of course, we all still consider ourselves quite young, but I do admit my musical tastes have been kind of stuck in a bit of a time warp, I guess. They haven't moved on much from maybe the mid-2000s. Because like I said, Franz Ferdinand was the last new band I really, really like. But... yeah, there's been nothing since then.
I've got a couple that I think you should listen to.
Yeah.
I reckon you should listen to Gang of Youths.
Okay.
Gang of Youths are a really, really, I think they're a band that you'd enjoy.
Yeah.
If you want something really Aussie, Smith Street Band.
Okay.
Is really cool. So I like listening to them as new music.
Yeah.
There's a couple of female artists that are out at the moment. Odette is pretty cool. It's a little bit different, which you might like.
Okay.
I don't know. I like I said, I like a wide variety of music, but I like Maggie Rogers. Really like Maggie Rogers. She's super cool. So
Coach Nix, he's pretty good as well.
He's all right. Yeah, I did hear a few of his tunes. Yeah, it's actually a couple of his. I'm trying to think what my favourite one of his would be.
Animalistic Fantasies.
Sammy loves Animalistic Fantasies. That's his go-to tune.
That's my jam.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, I think Hard to See the Sun you like, or You Are From Mars.
I have to look at the names.
Yeah, but anyway, it's less enough about Coach Nix. It's wonderful music, but it's
check it out on YouTube. Look up the name Coach Nix. That's CoachNix. Subscribe now.
Yeah. So you mentioned something, and it's a little off topic, but you name your cars, Troy.
I do.
So I think, like, I've always thought that is weird as hell, and I know it's something that like our parents used to do as well. Like my dad. We had an old silver Valiant, so it wasn't silver to start with. Then we painted it silver. It's a bit like
bullet.
Called it the Silver Bullet.
Boy.
We used to like painting a house pink and bloody red. The Silver Bullet, and Mum had a car she called Susie. So it was a Suzuki. Yep. Now she called Susie. And you name your cars. Now, I personally think that's weird as hell. Because I'm just like the red car or the white car. So. For you, like why?
Well, my car's always a bit of a gamble. So the first car I had was an old XW Falcon. So that was 1969. That was made. This thing was built like a tank. I actually hit like a pole once, and the pole was destroyed. The car, the smallest dent in the chrome fender. But this thing was ginormous and a bit of a land whale too. So you couldn't turn very well, but it was fine in a straight line. I used to call that Lola. It was painted sky blue, I remember.
Yeah, we painted that sky blue too.
We did, because initially it was supposed to be like an ice blue, but when we got the paint didn't turn out the way it was supposed to. So not being a sky blue machine, pretty big. It had like a queen-size bed you could fit in the back.
Yeah.
It was pretty impressive, and bench seats. It was great.
I had some fun in that car. That was a good car. Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about. But yeah, after that was Beatrice. That was the Sigma.
Yeah.
Then of course we had had a red car, called it Ruby. Had a yellow car, called it Tweety. We have a bit of a pattern here.
Yeah, you do.
Let's see. Had a silver car. We called it Misty.
Misty. Yeah.
And my latest car, actually, funnily enough, I actually haven't named my Peugeot yet.
Yeah.
I was maybe thinking about calling it maybe Piglet or something like that.
The Peugeot.
Yeah.
Maybe like some like Pierre.
Pierre. Oh, Pierre. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Pierre.
Pierre the Peugeot.
I've never had a boy car.
Yeah.
So,
This would be your first
my
one.
first boy car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It
right.
drives well.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's a nice car. I like it. I think it's a good car. Have you ever named your car, Sam?
No, I haven't. I haven't named my car, but I don't like. I do. There are quite a few people I think that name their car. I don't know why.
It doesn't mean
You know, it's a living thing. It lives, it breathes, it hates.
All right. Well, here's another question for you then, Troy. Do you name your junk as well, or?
Oh, actually, there was a name for it once upon a time.
What was it?
It was Elliot. as an Elliot the elephant.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I think that's
And that's tonight's show done. Thanks for listening.
Please listen again. No, I actually think that's a really good name. Elliot the elephant.
It's, well, you know, normally people, especially like if you're in relationships as well, you get nicknames for parts of bodies, I guess. So,
Do you?
do you ever do that? Oh, no, must be. That's just a weird thing, I guess. Yeah, maybe it was just me.
Sam,
The
do you?
relationships I was in, I guess.
Sam, do you name your junk?
No.
No, nothing like little
Not,
fella,
not midget or something?
or
Nah, it is what it is.
Yeah. Oh. I have as a joke called it Kroll Warrior King before, only because on a movie, I think it was How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days or something, the Mac Mahoney's character calls his Kroll the Warrior King, and I thought that was hilarious. Yeah. So I've said that as a joke, in the past, but yeah, no, it's not something I don't name cars. I don't name my junk. So interesting.
It was just easier to shout encouragement. If you're driving a car that's not doing too well, you can kind of coax it to life, and I guess the same applies to you.
Come on, Lola. Let's go. All right. Come on, Elliot.
It's
Stand up to attention.
time to wake up. Check out my hat. See what it looks like.
So talking about, you said that as a couple you'll name certain parts. Can you give us an example of some bits that you've named?
No, I won't be doing examples. It's
You won't
fine.
be exposing that?
No, I won't be.
You don't call people's nipples Nancy or something?
Left and right. Yeah, no, I don't.
Yeah, all right. Wow. Okay. Well, that was in a direction I didn't expect, but I've really enjoyed. So, all right. The T-Bomber.
Providing the goods.
That's it, a unique soul with unique ideas. If there are other people that do the same thing, please don't leave Troy alone in his weirdness. Let us know, because I'd love to hear the best name for your car or your junk.
Or if you need your car named, hit up Troy, because
Well, hit us up on Opinions Unqualified and send us a picture of your car, and we'll name it for you. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I'm keeping Pierre though. It's a good name.
Pierre's
a good name.
Thanks. I named your car.
You did.
Wow.
Sweet. I like
on
it.
the podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow, crazy.
You brought a really interesting topic in, Sam, today.
Yeah, I was having a bit of a scroll today on my phone, and I seen the rapper 6ix9ine.
I wonder what that stands for.
Nice.
I'm not sure. No idea.
I'll just turn around.
He is getting paid $5 million for one online concert.
Now, that's interesting in itself. But what makes it more interesting?
The thing that makes it interesting is that he's actually on house arrest, I think. Or is it house arrest? Or he was in jail, and then when COVID came, he played the whole I got asthma card and
How gangster.
got taken out of jail and put into his house so that he had less chance of getting COVID. And now he's out here making top songs and stuff and living the dream in
Under house arrest.
a bit of a Pablo Escobar type lifestyle, I guess, when Pablo made his own jail.
Yeah, I think that's... it's a little... I guess... I can't think of the word, but I'm going to say frustrating for those people that are, not criminals, that are trying to make, a living. And this guy is, obviously meant to be in prison right now and wouldn't get the same opportunities to make music and things, is allowed to make music, and now he's going to do a concert and make $5 million when if he was in prison he wouldn't be allowed to do that. So I guess for me the conversation is even though he's not in jail for his health reasons, and that's fair enough, I think.
Yeah.
Should he be allowed to be working and making an income when he couldn't when he was in jail? And that's where he's meant to be.
Yeah. See, what gets me, though, is that, first we should say that apparently, COVID's kind of gone rampant through the prisons in the States. So him going out because of asthma, all right. But, yeah, he's cashing in on his being infamous, really, in, his criminal background. I don't think that if he didn't have the criminal background that he did, because I'm sure he's done quite a few things, all he's done that is to enhance his reputation, I guess, and it's probably more that than his music ability himself, because I'm sure there's better rappers out there.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
You should see some videos of him. There was a video of him trying to sing with, I'm trying to think who it was. It was another singer who was quite good who was teaching him. He's like, I want to sing like this guy. And he was trying to sing. And I think he does it, he did it really badly. And I think now that I think about it, I think he did it just because he knew if he did that, his name would be in the press so much. Like, it'd be like 6ix9ine, look at this, laugh at him. But at the same time, 5 million people are watching him.
Yeah, so do you think it's more a reflection on society? Just, wanting, to look up to a criminal figure like that? Or do you think it's more the fact that he's just a really smart marketer?
His marketing is top quality because it's funny because I think he aligned himself with a gang or whatever, and that's how he kind of built up his fame and whatnot. But he didn't, when they talked to people that were actually in the gang, he wasn't very active in the thing. And it's quite funny because he's also a snitch because that's how he lowered his sentence of his jail sentence. He snitched on everyone, all gang members and stuff like that. Ooh. So it's funny, he's already had to move house once in house arrest because he posted an Instagram live video or something like that and they could see where he lived. So for his own safety, he had to move house or whatever. But the man's, it's crazy because as bad as it is, the guy's, he's a low-key genius to be able to market himself and probably not the safest way to make your millions. Probably pissing off the wrong kind of people, but
I know, it's sort of worked though.
Yeah.
I just think, I don't understand how the justice system can allow someone to be under house arrest and still, I'd be thinking, look, if this is his source of income, if this is how he gets it, I'm removing all technology. You're under house arrest so you don't get sick, but your home should be like a prison.
Well, the thing is, the guy's in the States and he's famous, and I guess they go by different rules. Those who have a bit of fame over there. I'd like to think that the same wouldn't apply in Australia, but who knows? But generally, I think there's even laws here. Actually, you can't benefit off criminal enterprises here. So let's say, for example, what was it, Chopper Reed?
Yep.
He wanted to write books and that.
Well,
he wrote children's books and that, but he actually couldn't. I don't think he'd get the proceeds of that though.
Really?
Actually, when he was maybe it was when he was in prison. I know he can't cash in on his story though.
Yeah. Yep.
So I just think something should apply to that as well. But you're right, getting paid $5 million, and he wouldn't have done it if he was still in prison. It's
just one concert as well.
That's crazy.
I just think the thing with the Chopper thing, he couldn't make money out of his story, but they made a lot of money. Other people made a lot of money out of his story. We're making the movie and stuff.
It was a good film.
And how good was Eric Banner in that movie?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, hilarious. Anyway, so 6ix9ine's under house arrest. We were kind of under house arrest for a long period of time with the COVID thing, and we've mentioned this before, but how good has WA done, really? Very lucky and fortunate to be here. But during that 3-month period, Troy, now you couldn't go anywhere because you didn't have a license anyway, and we had to stay home and there was no work that you had to do. So I'm guessing that you picked up some hobbies.
I did. I started out working out alone quite a bit, so because couldn't go to the gym anymore. But the main hobby I picked up was playing the piano. Something I always wanted to do, and I did actually have a piano lying around, which I was trying to learn years ago but gave up on. and thought, well, I've got the time now, and been playing that non-stop for the past 3 months.
How you going with it?
Pretty good, actually. I'm pretty happy with it. I can read music now, which is great. I can play quite a few pieces. It's not like Beethoven or anything like that, but I'm pretty happy considering it's only been 3 months. So yeah, I've enjoyed it. So this has given me the time and opportunity to really kind of upskill in some ways, I guess.
Are you going to have a little jam session with Coach Nix, the piano and the guitar?
I don't think I'm good enough for that.
Have some belief,
Believe,
Troy.
bro.
No, I'd need like sheet. Well, I'm pretty good at following sheet music, but when it comes to like making stuff up, like ad-libbing on the piano, I'm not. That's what I mean. You have to be up at a certain point to be able to ad-lib on the piano. Otherwise, it just sounds like you're bashing keys.
Yeah, right.
It's a bit like that on the guitar. You've got to be like a genius to write your own stuff, really.
True.
Yeah.
Musical genius.
Yeah,
Poet of our times, even. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's Coach Nix.
Yeah. Sam, too many plugs this one, but that's all right. Sam, was there any hobbies that you took?
Yeah.
Well, I tried to play the ukulele.
You did? Yeah, I was there.
Very good at it. Can really get a crowd involved. I don't play the ukulele much, but you can't say the crowd doesn't get involved when I get up on stage.
Ding 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 ding.
And then just skateboarding. I try to kickflip. Still can't kickflip. But
How much time have you put into the kickflip?
probably like not too much.
Yeah.
Well, my attention span's really short. Even with the ukulele, I can sit down for about 15 minutes and then my mind starts wandering.
Well, do you know what I did?
What
was
did you
that?
do?
Started a podcast.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I can say that too.
Yeah. It was with my boy Sammy. So
Gone strong.
we researched a lot of things, read a lot about podcasting. It's all coming together. So I think that was good. That was something exciting that I did, and we had a fair bit of time, and we're still doing it now, which is great. I've set up a home gym. Which I've had pieces sort of come in and out, but I'm actually made the decision again today that let's set up a real proper home gym, get some dumbbells and some racks and some different things in, which I think will be fun.
I was actually thinking about this, right? Because I was thinking, do I get a gym membership, right, or do I get some stuff for at home? Because it's a bit weird, right? Because I was thinking, and my mate was like, "Oh, it's so expensive, this stuff, right?" And then I thought, like, a gym membership for a year comes out to like $750.
Yep.
So, like, if you can get like a home gym for like $1,000, like, and you've got it forever.
Well, if you spend say $1,500, that's 2 years worth of gym membership, and you can use that for 5-6 years.
I think when it comes to home gyms, though, some people seem to go a little bit overboard, though. They buy so much equipment, so many things that I've always thought you don't really believe it. I mean, apart from maybe a chin-up bench? No. Chin-ups? What's just the bench? The flat, or just a flat bench?
Oh, just the bench?
Yeah, just the bench, like maybe a small assortment of weights and some dumbbells. And maybe some, pull-up bars or rings. That's all you need. I mean, you don't have to get the full-on, like the whole setup where it's like, this large machine that costs thousands of dollars.
Yeah, no, I think if you got a barbell, you got a squat rack, you've got an adjustable bench, so you can do decline and incline presses. I think that's really all you need. And dumbbells are good. Like, just a couple of dumbbells. Like, you don't really need much more than that.
And don't neglect your bodyweight exercises too. So I think a lot of people focus so much on the weights and the machines, whereas if you can kind of do more bodyweight exercise themselves that use like compound movements and things like that, it makes a real difference. I mean, all I use is just a couple of dumbbells, and I've been using those for quite a while now, and yeah, it's great. That and some chin-ups and pull-ups. That's all I needed, really.
Yeah. And Sam, you can always come to my gym, man. Nixy's gym.
That's half my problem, though, is I don't want to travel. I think I could get more done if it's just at home.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's the way I'm thinking as well. Like, it's just nice to be at home and, lifting. And I'd actually, having kids, it's good to see my kids see me being active and working out and working, like being strong. I think that's a really good influence. And then I noticed that my son now does push-ups and sit-ups, and like he uses the 1 kilo weights and does some things which is good. I know that's not going to hurt him, and I'm teaching him good technique, and he's learning how to just sort of get exposure to that early. Because I remember probably the thing when I started playing football at a high level, like waffle level, and they forced me to go to the gym, and I'd never really been to the gym before. I didn't enjoy it because I was intimidated. I was a little scared. And these guys that have been going to the gym for years were lifting heavy weights, and
Yeah.
I felt like I had to because the environment didn't allow me to sort of discover and find myself. So I think if I can expose my son, or we can expose kids to lifting in safe environments, I think they're going to be better for it, particularly if they're a talented kid that might get thrust into that environment later on. So,
and to encourage them to just do things at their own pace and not to try and make it some kind of competition where you have like a bunch of guys sitting around trying to push the heaviest weights they possibly could, and just asking for injury, really.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Sam,
It's that time once again.
it is.
Follow us, share, keep showing love.
Yep.
Um,
Just remember #opinions unqualified. All right. And if you've got any ideas, hopefully you've seen the review on the.
I haven't posted it yet.
You haven't?
I've been. I don't know what I've been doing, but
Yeah. So we're gonna have a review out this week for an interesting product. Yeah, it's a bit weird. But
yeah, and then we're going to need lots of feedback on that so we can improve.
Yeah, I agree. Troy, thanks for being on, bro.
Pleasure.
Did you enjoy the experience?
I did. Happy to come back anytime.
Love it. Thank you. We'll definitely hold you to that. So yeah, thanks for being on. And on behalf of Sam, Troy, and myself, stay happy, stay safe, love hard to build your immunity up, and we'll catch you soon. Sure.